lineage goes back to.
All right, so would you call yourself an original man, or the first race, or the first man that ever walked the earth? Would you agree to that? The so-called black man is the first?
Yeah,
right. So before the Africans came about, you had the sons of God, the so-called black man. So before Africans, which were not African, was even manifested, right, in the Table of Nations, when you read the book of Genesis, the 10th chapter, we were already here. So we come before the Africans. Right. We come before the so-called white man. We come before the Asians. We come before everybody. Right. Because when you understand the Bible, the Egyptians had the so-called black man in slavery. Right. No Africans had Africans in slavery. I know you heard that before, that myth. The black man sold the black man in slavery. No, the Africans sold us into slavery. Right. You actually go into history, brother. In the Bible, we were sold. We were beaten. We were chastised and destroyed in ancient Egypt.
That's right.
Or we come way before the so-called African man. And you have no African customs. You don't speak an African language. There are over 3,000 tribes in Africa. Right. What tribe do you come from? What language do you have of the African dialect? And what country do you derive from in Africa? There are 55 countries in Africa. Which country do you belong to?
Wake them up,
so we're going to pull up a map, and I don't think we necessarily have one. If we're going to pull up a map, you're going to pull up a map, brother, and go around Africa. You said central. Now central is that curve, that crescent right before, west. So where in Central Africa do you derive from? Because everybody in Africa knows exactly who they are. Right! There's no African that's in America, Chinese, London, Brazil that doesn't know who they are. Right! We're the only people walking around saying we're African. We have no sense of understanding anything about Africa, or have a country to classify that's who we are in Africa. Right! But you go inside, brother, break it down, and then we're going to oppose that by the truth of the Bible, what God said. Because all these genealogies, right, go to 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 4. All these genealogies are lies by the so-called white man. There's no 23andMe and all of these different things where you could take a blood sample and go into all of that. The Holy Bible. Written by who? Written by the sons of God. Right!
So it's written by somebody?
Yeah,
or is that derived from the original book that's in Ethiopia?
No, there is no original book.
The original book is only from Ethiopia.
That's a lie. Hold on. Let's not bounce to multiple subjects. I wanted you to prove that, and then we're going to tackle that false ideology that you have. Before you tuck that back in your pocket.
That's digging into emails to find.
Yeah, that's digging to that. And we're going to touch on that false point you just said, brother. Hey! How's it false? We're going to show you.
Why he's looking? Why is it false?
I don't want to derive from the point. Unless the brother doesn't mind, then we'll tackle that first.
No, he's looking right now. So
it's on you. What do you say, brother?
Go ahead.
All right, so we're going to dive inside. Now, first and foremost, I want you to break down how that's truth, and we're going to show you how that's false. Right! Because you quoted a statement. Go to 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 21. I'm going to get this first.
1 Thessalonians 5 and 21.
Bring it out!
Prove all things.
What the Lord say?
Prove all things!
God said to prove all things.
Right!
So whatever you say, you have to prove it according to the Bible. No, prove what you just said, brother.
Prove it!
Because now you just switching the narrative.
Right.
We're not placing this. This is no audible, brother. If you say something, you have to prove it. Stand on what you just said, brother. Well, break it out. Prove it.
I don't have to break it out.
Now, how can we believe anything that you say?
You can break it out. I've read it.
Didn't God say all men are liars? I said in my haste, all men are liars.
God told
You
you
have to prove what you just said.
Prove it. This is the Ethiopian Bible, which translated into Ge'ez, an ancient Ethiopian language. It was translated. Starting in the 6th century.
Starting in the what?
The 6th century. Around 500 AD.
Hold on now.
500 AD.
If it's starting around hold on. If it's starting around the 6th century, and we were already going into things, give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and verse 1. Right? And when you go inside of King Solomon and the reign, these men were already writing these things.
Right.
Bring that up.
Proverbs chapter 25 and verse number 1.
Bring it out!
These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out.
So Solomon had Proverbs. Men wrote the scriptures prior, all the way down, all the way from 900 BC. Right from his son to 930, all the way out, way before you even get to the 6th century. So these things are already documented in the Bible. Right. The first ideology, brother, is wrong. Right, we reigned over the Ethiopians.
Right.
You understand? The sons of God, the Israelites.
Right.
We're over the Ethiopians, brother. And the Ethiopians did not derive anything from the Bible.
Right.
That's a false ideology of Haile Selassie and all of those lies. That's not even his real name.
I know his name. I know his name. I already know his real name.
Well, what is his real name? What does Haile Selassie mean? Where's that false doctrine that you got from? What is derived from? Start digging and start talking, brother. You're just folding your hands, not making no sense.
I'm listening.
And lying, brother. If you're lying, then listen to the teachers teach, brother. And stop being proud. No, stand on what you said, brother. Stand on it, man.
Stand on it.
Right, and that's the problem with these false apostles, man.
Right.
Give me the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 2. We're going to stand on what Yahweh said.
That's right.
man.
Right. Revelation.
I wish somebody would say, well, I mean, prove the Bible is real, and we sit here twiddling our damn thumbs, man.
Stand there with your arms
Bring that
folded.
out.
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
Know thy works and thy labor and thy patience.
Right?
And how thou canst not bear them which are evil.
Bro, we can't bear wicked men that are evil, man. We can't bear false ideologies, witchcraft, doctrines, lies. We can't bear these things.
Right.
Read.
And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles.
Hey, the Lord said the true men of God are going to try men that say that they're apostles. They're
Right.
going to look them up and down. They're going to put them on trial. They're
Right.
going to try their doctrine. Give me Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14. They're going to rightly divide the word of truth. Read.
And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars.
And you find men liars by putting them through the fire.
Right.
You put a man in the lion's den, he going to have to fight his way out of that, man.
Right.
Whatever doctrine and a situation you think that you're right in, you have to prove that according to God's words. Bring it out.
Right.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro.
See, a child is tossed to and fro.
Right.
We were younger, right? We were forced into Christianity. We didn't
Right.
know no better, man. But now that we have the knowledge of truth and put these things on trial, we're not tossed to and fro like children. Right? Examine these matters. Read.
And carried about with every wind of doctrine.
Every wind of doctrine, man.
Right.
You be a fool to be carried about with what the world is doing and the ideologies thereof, man.
Right.
Haile Selassie has nothing to do with the Lord, man.
At all.
It has nothing to do with Yahweh Shai. It has nothing to do with a descendant, a line, and any of that madness, man.
Right.
You gotta come out of these lies, man.
Right.
The brother said, what, an Ethiopian Bible was this and what is that? The 6th century? What are you talking about? Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 18 and verse 1. Give me the book of Judith chapter 1 and start at verse number 7. Well, what was going on during that time?
Right.
Bring that up.
Isaiah chapter 18 and verse 1.
And when you going into the
Bring it
Babylonian
out.
Empire, go to the book of Daniel chapter 1 and verse 1. Verse 6, about 605 BC, and the conquerors, what did Nebuchadnezzar II do, man? He reigned over Ethiopia.
That's right.
He reigned over all these provinces.
Right.
How are you going to have the Ethiopians so-called having power, having preeminence, having a Bible, and all of this sense? Make that make sense. Bring it up.
Right.
Woe to the land shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia.
Why? Because Nebuchadnezzar, he conquered all men and all things on the left-hand side. So if that were the case, which it was, where are the relics and how did they have the time to build these things all the way from old?
Right.
If he's conquering and defeating all of these people and all of these lands, it will only make sense when the law was destroyed for the sons of God through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to rewrite it all over again.
Right.
Counting the Ethiopians having it, being conquered, and saving it up, and they're not the sons of God nor the prophets.
See that?
That would mean that they got conquered, and anytime anybody gets conquered, the kingdom switches, and all of their swords, their helmets, their relics, and anything they have goes to that conquest that conquered them. Before
Right.
you get that, Salakia, hold that. Go to first Esdras. Salakia, second Esdras, chapter. Let me see what I want. 2 and start at 15.
Second Ezra, chapter 2 and verse number 15.
Bring it out.
Mother, embrace thy children.
2 and 15. First Esdras, chapter 2 and verse 15. I think that's what I want.
First Esdras chapter 2 and verse number 15.
Bring it out.
Verse 10. King Cyrus also brought forth the holy vessels,
Now he brought forth the holy vessels, read.
which Nebuchadnezzar had carried away from Jerusalem.
Now how did King Cyrus get his hands on the things that were carried out from Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar II? Meaning, when somebody takes down another kingdom, everything comes with it.
That's right.
Meaning, the Ethiopian Bible they say they had, which is the truth, would have been translated to each kingdom after that have got conquered. Read.
Had carried away from Jerusalem.
So there's nothing that wasn't carried away when these different kingdoms, they take people by violence and force. Read.
And had set up in his temple of idols. Now when Cyrus, king of the Persians, had brought them forth, he delivered them to the Midianites, his treasure. And by him they were delivered to Sennacherib, the governor of Judea. And this was the number of them, 1,000 golden cups.
So they stole 1,000 golden cups. Read.
And 1,000 of silver.
Thousands of silver.
Censers of silver 29.
That's why we don't have these things anymore. Yeah, the Bible was stolen from us. Everything that we have that was our heritage was stolen from us.
Right.
But we're still able through the Spirit to prophesy.
Right.
We still know the words of the Most High.
Right.
These things were still given to us by prophecy, by dreams, by the stirring up of the mind and the spirit.
Right.
Right.
Vials of gold.
And where's the Ethiopian prophets at?
That's right.
See that?
I was just thinking that, God.
See that? The light bulb heads that are at 7-Eleven. Where the hell are they prophesying that?
Right.
I've never seen an Ethiopian man shaking the hand and on fire for the Most High.
That's right.
I've never seen him stand up for righteousness, man.
Ever.
I've never seen him do that. All I ever seen him do is say paper or plastic, man. Read.
Vials of gold 30.
Read.
And of silver 2,410.
Now you can rush right there. Bring that up.
Judith, chapter 1 and verse number 7.
Bring it out.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, sent unto all that dwelt in Persia, and to all that dwelt westward, and to those that dwelt in Sicilia, and Damascus, and Libanus, and Antibanus, and to all that dwelt upon the sea coast, and to those among the nations that were of Carmel, of Galaad, of the higher Galilee, and the great plain of Esdraelon,
Right?
and to all that were in Samaria, and the cities thereof,
So to damn near all the world. Read.
and beyond Jordan unto Jerusalem, and Bethane, and Chelis, and Cadiz, and the river of Egypt, and Taphnes, and Ramses, and all the land of Gesem, until ye come beyond Tanis, and Memphis, and to all the inhabitants of Egypt, until ye came to the borders of Ethiopia.
Until what?
Until ye came to the borders of Ethiopia.
Read it again.
Until ye came to the borders of Ethiopia.
So Nebuchadnezzar II, he conquered all of this land. All the way from what it's talking about, from Samaria to Jerusalem to Egypt, all the way to Ethiopia. That would mean that everything they've ever had would have been given into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar II.
See that?
Then Cyrus.
Right.
Then all the way trickle down right till you get to America. But there's no relics, no evidence that they could prove that they created in the first book of Ethiopia the Bible was formed. That makes no sense.
At all.
And we had all of the records, all of the writings, and all of these things years and years before that ideology was put forth. That's why you have to have common sense, you have to have archaeology, and prophecy trumps all things.
Right.
So when Nebuchadnezzar came, he conquered Ethiopia that we just read in Isaiah the 18th chapter. Read.
Salakia. Verse 11. But all the inhabitants of the land made light of the commandment of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians.
Ready to yield forth to us. Right, bow down because I'm coming. That's why he got stirred up and he came and he conquered all of the world. Give me the book of Judith, right, chapter 2, and start at verse number 2.
Judith, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
So he called unto him all his officers and all his nobles, and communicated with them his secret counsel, and concluded the afflicted of the whole earth,
Right, the affliction of the whole earth,
out of his own mouth. Then they decreed to destroy all flesh.
Then they decreed it to destroy all flesh. So Nebuchadnezzar II, when he was going on his conquest and his voyage, was destroying all of these lands. Give me Isaiah chapter 45 and 13.
You want me to finish this?
Bring it up.
That did not obey the commandment of his mouth.
Right, bring that up.
Isaiah 45 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
I raised him up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city. He shall let go my captives. Not for price nor reward, saith the Lord of hosts.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia.
Right, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia. Hey, sisters, you got a minute to hear the words of God, sisters?
One scripture.
Come on, sisters, real fast. Let me show you something.
It's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes.
And of the Sabians, men of stature,
Men of stature.
shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come.
Why is it saying the Ethiopians, which are truly slaves walking the earth,
Right.
which are truly nothing in the eyes of God,
Right.
Why is it saying that they're going to come over to the sons of God, the Israelites, and bow before them? Right, read.
They shall all select it. They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over. They shall fall down unto thee.
What is that talking about? I mean, they're finally going to get a Bible back, man. After they put in chains, okay, you win, and then they finally get a book back. Read.
They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee.
What are they going to say?
Surely God is in thee.
Right, surely God is in thee.
That's right.
Read the book of Genesis chapter 11 verse 1. Right, this book was written in the Hebrew. It's not written in a nasty Ethiopian language.
Right. Genesis chapter 11 and verse number 1. Bring it out! And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Right.
And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
Now, when you going into this, right, that whole language in one speech, right, it's not talking about the Akkadian language, man. It's not talking about Ethiopian language or the language that they were speaking during that time in Babylon. Jump to verse, give me Genesis chapter 10 and start at verse 8.
Genesis chapter 10 and verse number 8. Bring it out! And Cush begat Nimrod.
Right?
And he began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Right, a mighty one in the earth, meaning subduing men. Right, read.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
Read.
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
Right, Babel, which means confusion of languages, confusion of speech. Right, so there's no account of God giving, right, the Ethiopians his word from the very foundation of the earth. That makes no sense. In the book of Genesis chapter 4 verse 26. I thought it said otherwise in the scriptures.
Right.
That's why nobody reads the Bible.
Right. See that?
Bring that up.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse number 26.
Bring it out.
And to Seth, to him also there was born a son.
Unto Seth. Right, give me the book of Sirach chapter 49 in the last verse. Read.
And he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of Yahweh.
Right, then began men to call upon the name of the Most High. So they were calling upon the name of the Most High. They were doing sacrifices. They were doing all of this righteousness all the way during that time before Cush was even manifested, even be read about.
See that?
These things were already manifested by the sons of God. Bring that up.
Sirach chapter 49 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
Shem and Seth were in great honor among men.
How can you be in great honor unless you're keeping the commandments? How can you have a good name unless you're keeping what the Most High has given you from the foundation of the earth? How do you get a good name, huh? You get a good name by keeping God's commandments. Right. Read that again from the top.
Shem and Seth were in great honor among men.
They were in great honor amongst men. Read.
And so was Adam above every living thing in the creation.
Every living thing. So Adam, Seth, these men were in great honor by keeping the commandments in the sight of all the other heathen that was at that time. Hey, brother, you got a minute to hear the words of God, brother?
1 minute, brother. 1 minute,
Right,
brother.
give me the book of Ezekiel, right, chapter 31, and start at verse number 8. Ezekiel chapter 31.
Ezekiel
start at verse number
31 and verse number 8.
Yeah.
The cedars in the garden of God could not hide him.
Right, they couldn't hide Adam and his stature and his strength. Read.
The fir trees were not like his bow.
Read.
And the chestnut trees were not like his branches. Nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him. In
Nobody was likened unto the sons of God.
I have made him fear by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden
That are all the trees, meaning everybody during this time,
that were in the garden of God envied him.
they did what?
Envied him.
Right, there's never a time where we yielded to the other nations, man. We always had the truth. We from the foundation of this world. Give me Deuteronomy 29 and 29. From the foundation, it was always given to the sons of God. Nothing was manifested unto the heathens that was secret of the Most High that we didn't know about. Bring that out.
Deuteronomy 29 and verse 29.
Bring it out.
The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children.
And into our children. How you doing? All praise to the Most High. Where you see yourself on the sign, brother? What would this world classify you as? What's your race?
I'm African American, black.
You believe in God, brother? Okay, all praises. You ever found the term African American in the Bible? You ever found the term African American in the Bible? Right, so we got African American from our oppressors. Right, God never called man an African American, a Negro, a nigger, a black man, and all of these terms we got in America. So before we came to America, before we spoke the American language, what were we doing 2,000 years ago? What was our names 2,000 years ago? Right.
We were slaves, yeah.
Formed the vowel letters of words that we weren't even speaking 2,000 years ago. Who were we walking the earth? That's a number one question, brother.
Right.
Everybody has a beginning and an origin. Right. When you look at a tree, it doesn't just be a tree. It has a root. It has a seed. It has a seed. What's your beginning of who you are and your ancestry from the very beginning of this earth? It's a good question. See, we're the only people facing this earth that don't know who we are. Right! Oh, white man, he knows he's a Russian. Right! He knows he's from Poland. Right! Sweden. Right! Ireland. Right! Italy. Right! He knows all of these things. Right. We're the only people that just chalk it up to being a color. Right! What's a color? What landmass is a color? What language is a color? Right! Who are we? Right! Are we? We should want to know these things, man. Right! You got children, brother?
Nah, well, I got one on the way.
All praise to the Most High.
That's right, all praises.
Appreciate it.
Brother, when it comes up to you, whether he or she, and they're crying, holding legs, and Daddy, teach me who we are. What do you want to say? These things should beat us down, and we don't know anything about our heritage. Right. Stripped from us in slavery. Right. Who stripped it from us? Our oppressors. Right. What were they trying to strip? What was so pivotal, so mighty, so magnificent, so strong that they didn't want you to know who you are? Right. There's power in knowing who you are, brother. Right. If a king is a king and he was snatched from his throne, right, and he was never taught that he was a king and taught that he was always a servant, that'll do something to him mentally. He'll never believe, nor would he have the power to truly enter into who he really is, man. Right. I'm gonna show you something in the Bible. Let's go to the mighty book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
This is Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
Now this is what's called a prophecy. See, a lot of people, when they read the Bible, they think it's Christianity and white people and, you know, baby wings and angels and things like that. These things aren't written. When you read this book is an ancestry about you, me, and all of these kings out here. Right! This is our beginning and our origin. Right! So-called black people, they don't like to read. All they like to do is have fun and dance and be confused in America. Right! Right! One step back to read the Holy Bible to see what it's talking about. Bring that. Right!
That's right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
It shall happen. It's a prophecy.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Who is the thou? The children of Israel. Now the children of Israel are the blacks, the Hispanics, and the Native Americans.
Right!
How you know that? Is that true? We're going to find out. This is Moses speaking unto all of Israel. Read.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Now you don't have to answer this question, brother, but do we keep the commandments? Of course not. Nobody out here, right, that's walking this harbor can really name 15 commandments off the top of their head. Right. God said if you're not listening to hearkening to all these commandments, read,
which I command thee this day, that all these curses.
That's not in the Bible.
That all these curses.
There's going to be a repercussion, brother, for not keeping God's commandments.
Right.
Right. When your child comes on the scene, you're not going to let him or her do anything they want. Right? If they do wrong, you're going to chastise them, like our parents did us. Right? Anybody that truly loves their son or their daughter is going to teach them. And with teaching comes discipline. Right. The Most High is our Father in heaven, brother. We cannot continue to smoke weed, right, fornicate, right, live a life of crime and wickedness and idolatry, and there be no repercussions. Right. God said if you don't keep his commandments, I will put curses on you. But you know how that sounds to man? They say, well, God wouldn't do that. Right. Not my God, but they're talking about this man. They're talking about this man. Right. They don't know how God actually looks. Right. God is a fierce man of war. God is made in what? He was made in his image. So God looks just like you, brother. He looks just like me. He looks just like this brother. He looks like all of these brothers up here. Hold that real fast and give me the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 13.
Revelation 1 and 13, and it reads, and in the midst of the seven candlesticks,
in the midst of the seven churches,
one like to the Son of Man.
So we're about to get the image of the Son of Man. Right, read.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
See, the Lord had a long garment down to his foot.
Right. And girt about the paps with the golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
White like wool. We have woolly hair.
That's right. Read. As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
He had red eyes.
And his feet.
His feet.
like unto fine brass.
Like unto what?
Like unto fine brass.
The color is brass, brother. Our skin complexion.
See that?
So the Lord's skin was like unto brass. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
How dark was the Lord?
As if they burned in a furnace.
Dark skin man.
Right.
Bronze in a furnace. It's
Right.
gonna get dark and it's gonna get dark. It's gonna get dark. And you
right.
gonna come out looking just like us, man.
Right.
The darkest man on earth. That's why they teach you to hate dark skin. Well, you're a monkey, you're a nigger, you're nothing, you're scum, you're damn puss, you're just idiot, you're an idiot, you're a fool. They teach us to hate who we actually are.
Right.
Embrace our skin, man.
Right.
These so-called Negro features is the Most High's features.
That's right.
Our nose, our big lips, all of these different wool hair. That's how the Most High looks.
That's right. Right.
Embrace the things. I wish somebody would say, aha, you look like your dad. Yeah, I do look like my dad.
That's right.
All praises to the Most High. Look
right.
like my
Huh.
Let's go back to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
We start at 16?
Come on, start at 16.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16.
Right
Bring it
now.
out.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Now we're about to get a plethora of curses that happened to the Israelites. So it's a mystery on this earth who the Israelites are, who's God's chosen people. Some people say it's the Philistines. Or some people say it's the Israelis. Some people say it's the Lebanese. Some people say it's the people of Yemen. People have a plethora of reasons and ways that they're fighting for that land who are actually God's chosen people. God's about to clear up all the confusion by these curses. Read verse 16 again.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Now, brother, this is a question for you. When you look around all of the cities of America and throughout the world, who's predominantly cursed in those cities? Is it the Chinese? It's not the Israelis. It's not the damn Muslims.
Right.
It's not the Chinese. Who do you see at the bus stop? Strung over, on drugs, fighting one another, gangbanging, hating one another, shot down in the streets with no justice and no peace. It's always the so-called blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
Nobody else. When you go to Jamaica, you see problem. You go to Trinidad, you see problem. You go all the way in London, you see black men curled over on the corner. There's no place on this earth you could go where you don't see the so-called black man living out these curses, man.
Right.
We're not idiots, we're not fools. In the Bible, we're scholars. We're kings.
Right.
We had governors and rulers and princes. How did we fall so low? God said that we would be cursed around all of the cities. Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
That's not in the Bible.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Hey, the Lord said we would be cursed in the field.
Right.
Now, that's not talking about, we just out there, we twisted our ankle. Cursed in the field means in slavery. There's no other people on this earth that have been cursed in the field, that have been beaten, robbed, and slain. Now jump to verse number 48.
Verse number 48.
Let's say you still on the fence. I don't know if this is talking about us. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
And when we read precepts like this, you know what people get? They get offended.
Right.
Why are you talking about the white man so much? Why are you talking about the Chinese so much? It's getting a little politically incorrect. I'm getting uncomfortable. This is God's words.
Facts.
God said that his people, for denying his name, will have to serve an enemy.
Right.
People on the face of this earth have ever sold and reverenced and bowed down to an enemy, man. Nobody but us.
Right.
Nobody but the so-called black man.
Right.
The Lord said, I'm going to make you serve your enemies. You used to have your own land, your own cistern. Don't you know we're the original shepherds of the earth, brother?
Original.
We literally had thousands of cattle. Will you give me the book of Genesis real fast, chapter 13 and verse number 1. I'm going to show you something about our father Abraham. You ever heard of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? These are your great-grandparents, brother.
That's right.
These are your great-grandfathers, man. Abraham,
Real blood.
Isaac, Jacob, man. These are fathers, man.
Teach us.
Genesis 13 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
And Abram
What's his brother's grandfather?
And Abram.
What's our grandfather?
And Abram.
Read about our history, brother. And
Right.
went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him,
Read.
into the south. And Abram was very rich.
No, we're always niggas.
And
Abram was very rich.
Hey, our fathers were rich, but we don't count money to be rich with white man's faces on it. We don't count cars and women and luxury of this world to be rich. Let's see what was rich in the ancient world. Read.
And cattle,
Cattle. Because when you have cattle, you have food. You have land, right? Read.
and silver,
See, if you're truly rich, you wouldn't depend on your enemies. Let's
Right.
say LeBron James. He
Right.
still has to go to the grocery store.
Right.
He still has to reach out to the white man for water. If you're truly rich, you're self-dependent. You got your own cattle,
Right.
your own land,
Right.
your own
Wake
system,
'em up.
your
Right.
own slaves.
Right.
You don't
Right.
need another nation for nothing. When you go to China, China doesn't need the Arabians, man.
Right.
China doesn't need the so-called white man.
Right.
They have a whole continent called China, and they don't need nobody else but themselves.
See that?
We're always dependent on our enemies.
Right.
Where's the land where we can just go to and we can say, bye, so-called white man. I'll never see you again.
Dang.
No, Abraham, he was rich. He had his own place, his own tent. He didn't have to pay anybody anything. Read.
And in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel.
Now, when you read this account, we're not going to read it all, but Abraham, he had servants, he had slaves.
Right.
So, from the very beginning, brother, I know this may be a shocker, but we actually had slaves.
Right.
See, things got switched, so
Right.
we became the slaves. When we denied God and denied the commandments, things got switched.
Right.
So now we look up to the so-called white man, right, when he used to look up at us. Don't you know there's a man in the Bible, you ever heard of King David? King David had white people that were slaves in the Bible.
That's right.
Right. You see that? That may not. She may not like that. Look at that.
Yeah.
She may not look at. She running away. She may not like that.
Yeah.
That actually happened in the Bible, man.
Right.
Right. But let's read on from there. Read verse 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
For not keeping God's commandments, there are repercussions. I'm gonna make you serve your enemy. Read,
which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger.
brother. When you want to get something to eat, where you gotta go to?
I'm about to grab some food right now.
And in thirst,
You want to get something to drink, you gotta go to them.
and in nakedness,
When you want to clothe yourself, you gotta go to the so-called white man.
and in want of all things.
A passport, a license, rental history, a loan, birth certificate, death certificate. We could go on all day. There's nothing you could survive and thrive in this society without going to him first.
Right.
It's like he's your master, even to this very day.
Even now.
Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Read it again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That's in the Bible.
Right.
Whoever had yokes of iron on their necks?
Right.
We did.
Us.
God is talking about you, brother.
Right.
That's literally in the Bible. But when we open the Bible, this all we see is this right here. This is
All they
called
show us.
predictive programming. This is called lies. You know where they gave this to us at? A slavery.
Right.
Listen, they beat us. There's a thing called the Negro Bible. You ever heard of that? Where they took out pages where we were slaves and got freed, that they may instill in us fear and wickedness. Now we just read the image of the Lord.
Right.
It looks nothing like this man.
At all.
Right? They want you to do that so you can reverence the so-called white man. Right? So according to the Bible, I'm gonna give you one more, brother. One more. One more, brother. One more.
My baby some food.
One more, brother. Bring that up.
So like 68.
68.
Deuteronomy 28, 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord said, I'm gonna put you into slavery, but this way I'm gonna do it with ships. All, like I said, all this in the Bible, brother. It's the Sabbath day. You gotta keep the Sabbath day holy. No buying and selling. Take these flyers, brother. If you got time, come back and hear the words of God.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man.
Y'all Israelites, God's chosen people.
Good.
All praise to the Most High. That's what we need, humble sheep to come up and hear the words of God, man. Right? So we can condemn the wicked so-called white man and these wicked nations, man, and uprising of our people. That's what it's all about, man.
Right.
It's about redemption. It's about helping. Not left down here alone. He's giving us a comfort. He has given a son, Yahweh Shah.
That's right.
To be in our hearts, to stir up our minds, to light a flame in our spirit.
That's right.
Right. Give me the mighty book of 2 Corinthians, right, chapter 4 and verse number 2. Hey, y'all sisters, come up and hear the words of God. Hear the words of God, sisters. Bring that.
2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 2. Bring it out. But have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty.
Right? We denounce the hidden things of dishonesty. We're not walking in wickedness and witchcraft. We are new creatures. We're new men in Yahweh Shah, man. Give me first John chapter 3 and verse 2. We have renounced all of the hidden things. You have hidden counsels, right? Sorceries on the earth. We have denounced everything that's against us. Read.
Not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of God deceitfully.
And that's what all these false apostles do. They handle the word of God deceitfully. They take these scriptures, right? They flip them and they create doctrines and lies to overtake the people. Right? What are you waving at?
Israel today, God chosen people.
Who are God's chosen people?
Right.
Israel.
Who is Israel?
Right.
We the Israelites.
Right.
Right? We the Israelites. Right? Don't wave at me, man. Because I said so.
Right.
Man.
Right.
I don't have to answer to you.
Right.
I don't have to answer to you.
Right.
I thought we talking.
We'll stop talking and walking away then.
Right.
See, and that's the problem with these proud nations, man.
Right.
So why? Well, I don't have to answer to you, man. Right. Hey, give me the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 7. See that? I wish I would answer to the so-called white man, man. We're not answering to you. Bring that up.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse number 7. Bring it out. I have seen servants upon horses.
Right, sir, and that's the problem because they got that power and that preeminence right now. They feeling themselves.
Right.
Read the book of Isaiah chapter 2, right, in verse number 20. Read.
And princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Right, he's probably used to talking to his employees like that. He's probably used to talking to everybody like that because he's high up and what his power is.
Right.
What's your nationality?
You tell me the answer to the question, because I'm sure I'm probably not going to get it right. If I was talking to somebody else, I would just say American, because that's the nation where I was born. But what's the right answer? Your question is my father African? As race, in America, he would be considered black as his race.
We're not black men and women walk on the earth.
Okay.
That was thrown upon us. Well, actually, the Israelites are the Bible that you read about. You ever heard of the Israelites?
Yes.
What have you heard, sister?
Well, I've just seen social media, but I've never talked to anybody face to face.
Clap it up.
That's right. All praise.
You are at home, and we love you.
Hey!
Introduction to the Israelites, you know. And you're
My husband's waiting for me in the car. But
all right. Well,
okay.
we're going to give you a fly. We're going to read you one commandment.
Okay.
We're going to read you something out of the Bible.
Okay.
Right. Give me Romans chapter 11, verse 1.
Romans chapter 11 and verse number 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people?
And God never casted you away, sister, because I'm looking at an Israelite right now.
Right.
He would never cast it away, even though it may feel like that we're alienated from God. Right, read?
God forbid. For I also am an Israelite.
No, she'll never know who she is.
For I also am an Israelite.
For I also am an Israelite.
Right.
I know you got time. It would be wise if you called your husband down here.
That's right.
We can have a nice conversation and go into history and elaborate a lot more so without a shadow of a doubt, you can say, I know I'm an Israelite. See, if we rushing things, you may put something in the microwave real fast. But you put it in the oven, let that thing simmer. Let them cheeses melt.
You know?
Let them things marinate.
You know?
It tastes a whole lot better.
That's
So
right.
it falls off the bone like the brother
So we
said.
didn't even part. It was like, just drop me off. I can
You know
go.
that chicken, we raise up the bone and the meat fall off? That's what we
I
try.
get you, brother. I do. I do.
All right, well, you're an Israelite according to the Bible, sister.
Okay.
If you have time, look at that flyer.
Okay.
All of everything you need is on there.
Okay.
Right, how to get to us on social media and to watch the videos on YouTube.
Okay.
Every
I appreciate
Friday and
that.
Saturday.
Brothers, have a nice night.
Are you an Israelite, sister? Let's go. Let that stick in your mind, man.
That's right.
Let that be the remembrance
Right.
of the Israelites.
And that's not going to get a million views.
Exactly. It is what it is. Right, let's go back to it. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse number 2.
Second.
What happened to them knuckles?
No hablar inglés.
2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 2. But I've renounced the hidden things of dishonesty.
Right?
Walking not in craftiness.
Right, we're not walking in craftiness. Read.
Nor handling the word of God deceitfully.
Read.
But by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of God. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
See, a lot of people, the gospel is hid to them. Huh? They can't perceive nor understand that they're an Israelite. They have no idea what the truth is according to the Bible is. They're trusting the lies. They're following the so-called white man and woman. Right? Why are you waving at us?
Why am I waving?
Yes.
Because
You're mocking us.
I love
we're
Jesus.
We're not to be mocked.
I love Jesus.
If you love Jesus, come up here.
That's why.
If you love Jesus, come up here. Damn liar.
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 Right.
And we're not to be mocked, man.
Right.
Right. Look at that beard, man. Look at that horrible beard, man. Bring that up.
But if our gospel be hid,
If our gospel be hid,
it is hid to them that are lost.
right, it's hid to them that are lost.
That's right.
Like that long beard, man.
Right.
That long beard is lost.
Right.
Start there playing it, man. Playing with that damn beard, man. Mr. Ratburn. That Chinese beard, man.
Master Splinter.
Right, Master Splinter spirit, man. Right, read.
Verse 4. in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them.
He have blinded the minds of them, man. So it's a blessing to be able to perceive these words. Read.
Which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
Right, should shine upon them. Because the Lord blocked a lot of men's understanding. What's going on, brother? Got many the words of God? 2 seconds, real fast. Let me show you some. Let me show you some real fast.
Come on, 2 seconds.
Hey, brother. Surely this brother will hear the words of God with the hat on.
Brother.
Hey, y'all brothers got to stand on what y'all said, man.
Right.
You got to stand.
You have a good one, man.
Salute. All love.
Salute me.
Love, peace. I'm saluting you.
Who is in the image of God should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Hamashiach Yahawashah.
Right, if we preach the Lord, we have to stand on what the Lord said.
Right.
Right. If you're an ambassador or a speaker for the Most High, you have to stand with boldness the same way the Lord did, man.
Right.
Read.
But Yahawashah Hamashiach, the Lord, and ourselves, your servants, for Yahawashah's sake.
For the Lord's sake, give me 1 John chapter 3 and verse number 2. So you have to stand for the Lord, and the manifestation of the things that the Lord has showed us is manifesting the fruit of the men walking the earth today. Bring that up.
1 John 3 and 2.
Bring it up.
Beloved.
Y'all sisters got a minute to hear the words of God? They got a minute to hear the words of God, sisters?
Yeah.
All right, real fast. Now, who would you say this man is? Who is that?
Jesus.
What do you say?
Allah.
This is a group effort. I need everybody to answer. Who is this?
Jesus.
All right, please say Jesus real fast. Who do you say? You don't know? What about you two sisters?
That's because you think he Allah. She really.
Okay, what do you say, sister? That's Jesus? Now, what if I showed you how Jesus looked in the Bible? You think he looked like that?
Yeah.
Well, that's find out.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse number 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks.
So we're about to get a description of the Lord in the Bible. So in the midst of all of the churches,
one like unto the Son of Man.
Now the Son of Man is a title who this world calls Jesus Christ. Read.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
He had a long garment on. Read.
Girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Read.
His head and his hairs.
I hope y'all listening. His head and his hairs
were white like wool.
Who has woolly hair? Who has like a sheep? Like wool type hair? Y'all come up and look at wool. Who has hair like this? Wool right here. What people on the earth have hair like that? You said what? Old people, what you say? Not just old people. Not just men. Who has hair like that? What nation of people, what race has hair just like this man?
White.
Somebody said it.
White.
What'd you say?
White.
Exactly. So-called black. So we're getting the description of Jesus Christ in the Bible. Jesus Christ says he has hair like wool. So Jesus Christ would be a so-called black man walking around. Right. Jesus Christ isn't a white man.
No, not at all.
When you hear Jesus Christ, you look at images like this, see a lot of the world thinks that this is God and this is Jesus. When this is not God and Jesus. This is a lie. Right. This was painted to deceive you. Let's read it again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
They were white like wool. Who has woolly hair? We do. Read.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So what color is brass? Brown. Exactly. Read.
Feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So the Lord was brown, and then you take him and you put him in a furnace, he's going to turn dark brown. You get that? You put anything in a furnace, what color is it going to be? You put the toast.
Black.
There you go.
Exactly, sister. So according to the Bible, what color is Jesus Christ? So-called black.
Right.
His real name is in Jesus Christ. Can you guys say Yahawashah?
Yahawashah.
Exactly. Yahawashah. Right, so that's the Lord's true name. So according to the Bible, if this isn't Jesus Christ, this isn't Yahawashah, who is that?
Exactly.
Allah.
Nope.
God.
You said what? Nope, not Father.
God.
Nope. He has nothing to do with the Bible. He has nothing to do with you and me. He has nothing to do with our ancestry or our fathers, salvation or anything. So what? Yeah, he's a regular man, but he's the devil.
Right.
He's a liar and a deceiver. Now, we would love for you to step on that image. Unless that's your God, because God in the Bible is a so-called black man. There you go. That's right. No hesitation. Sorry, sister. He isn't going to come out of that picture and grab your leg.
Right.
And if he does, we're going to stomp him down.
That's right.
Stomp on him.
That's right. That's right.
So God, according to the Bible, right, is a so-called black man. But we're not going to walk around calling ourselves a color. You know who we actually are according to the Bible? Say it again.
Slaves.
Not slaves. What do you say? Not black women. What you say? What did God call us? Who are we according to the Bible?
Angels.
Well, we're going to find out in the Bible.
This is Romans chapter 11 and verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people?
So God's chosen people, right? We're going to hold that smoke for the sisters. It's God's chosen people. Read.
God forbid, for I also am an Israelite.
I don't know who I am.
For I also am an Israelite.
So God called his chosen people Israelites.
Right.
Can y'all say that?
Israelites.
Israelites.
Right.
God's chosen people are the Israelites. Right? Black is just a color. Nobody says I'm orange and green or purple or silver. Right? These are just colors. What does a color have to do with anything? It has nothing to do with a landmass, a language, and a heritage. Right? We're the Israelites because we come from Israel. You understand? We're not Africans. We're not Americans. We're not the things that they classify and throw on us. We're God's chosen people. We're called the Israelites. Right? So who are y'all according to the Bible? Israelites. Who are you according to the Bible? Alright, we're going to read it again for you, sister.
For I also am an Israelite.
What did the Lord say, sister? For I also am what?
Israelites.
Israelite. That's right.
Israelite. All of y'all up here are the Israelites according to the Bible. Now, it's a couple of things that the Israelites do, but we're going to touch on one key thing that the Israelites don't do. Right, give me Leviticus chapter 11 and verse number 7. Now, see in your hand, y'all have something called the crafty crab. Crafty crab. Now, according to the Bible, is that any crabs in there?
No.
Crawfish? Okay. I'm going to show y'all something in the Bible.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse number 9.
No.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
Now, before we read this, are you going to do what's pleasing to you, or do you want to do what's pleasing to God? To God. What about you? Who matters more, you or God?
Me, God. Well, me, really,
Well, who's making you alive right now?
God.
God. Who has you to be able to even think about the answer to that question? God. So obviously the Most High will be greater than man. Right? Man can't be greater than the Most High. Because we wouldn't need the Most High for us. We'll be self-sustaining. Right? We wouldn't ache or bleed or have anything to cry out for. If we're self-sustaining, well, we don't need the Most High for anything. You get what I'm saying? Because who feeds the animals of the earth? The Most High does. Right. Most High sends down water and vegetation and different things like that to yield more crops. So God is everything. So if I'm asking y'all who y'all gonna listen to, yourselves or God, what should the answer be? God. Let's see what God said.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
So God is giving you instructions which you can eat that comes out of the waters. Right? Read.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
Those little teeny pinnacles.
Fins and scales.
Right, it has to have fins and it has to have scales. What has fins and scales that come out of the water?
Fish.
Fish. What are the two things a fish has to have?
Fins and scales.
Fins and scales. Right, we go.
And the waters and the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Right, them shall ye eat. So the Lord is saying you can only eat things that come out of the oceans, the rivers, the streams that have fins and scales. So if it doesn't have fins and scales, right, you can hold that, King. If it doesn't have fins and scales, right, you cannot eat it according to the Bible. Meaning, what doesn't have fins and scales?
Crabs.
Crabs. What else?
Dolphins.
Dolphins. What else? Crawfish. Shrimp, crab, lobster. Y'all eat those things?
I thought lobster was something like
It's a shellfish. You know what shellfish do? They sit at the bottom of the ocean, right? And they go like this. They come up to something that's green, right, and dark, and feces, and they feed on feces all day. You know what feces is? Poop. You know what poop is, right? So they feed on poop all day. Would you eat something that feed on poop all day long?
No.
All day long? Throw up, poop, dead animals, carcasses. They eat everything that falls down to the bottom that pollutes, right, the oceans and the waters. Right, clams and different things, mussels. They eat and they clean up algae and different things like
I got
that.
a question.
Right, yes, sister.
Why is it holidays?
I can't hear you.
Why is it holidays?
Why is there holidays on there? Well, I'm gonna touch on that in a second. But nevertheless, real fast, shrimp, crab, lobsters, and crawfish are an abomination in the eyes of God. Right, now check this out. Y'all sisters, look at this. Now you have crawfish, that's nothing but a roach. You got lobsters that look like scorpions and crabs that are like spiders.
Right.
Alright, so these are the creepy things that are ocean. Right. And we can't eat creepy things. Would you eat a roach, sister?
No.
What about a cockroach? Big
No.
one. None of that?
I can't do that.
Centipede?
Nope.
None of that?
Neither one of them.
You sure? What about you go in the basement and you hear that sound? You just, what that sound?
Right.
Right now, that squeaky noise, you're just hearing it in the dark. You gonna eat that?
No.
Exactly. And that's what you're doing every single time you eat that crawfish.
Right.
So you know what you have to do with that crawfish starting today? You have to repent, you have to throw it away. But you're only gonna throw it away if you believe God's words and love God.
Only if.
If you love yourself and what's pleasing to you, you're gonna keep it. And you sisters are very intelligent.
Right.
I could tell.
Wait, can I do something like that?
What are you gonna do?
Did she just run away?
She's not gonna throw her boyfriend. She's gonna throw it in the water.
Oh, snap.
That's one for one. Go get your crawfish if you love God. Let's get the classic, John chapter 14, verse 15. If you love God, you'll do it. Where's your crawfish at, sister? Only do it if you want to do it.
Right.
Because if you truly want to change, it starts with you, without 1,000 eyes on you. It's what you want to do in sincerity. Now let's clap it up for the young sister for doing it. The angels are rejoicing.
That's right, that's right.
You want the angels and the Heavenly Father proud of the decisions you make on earth. What about y'all two sisters? What do you want to do? You have the opportunity to show forth repentance today and to start keeping the commandments. Or you can eat on roaches and centipedes and spiders and creatures. Crawfish are related to cockroaches on every level possible. On every level possible. From the way they move, to all of their hands and their fingers, the way they eat, the way they sniff out things, those things are unclean in the eyes of God. Right, give me Isaiah, right? Chapter 44 and verse 4. Right, Jeremiah 44 and 4.
Jeremiah.
We hate these things. Bring that up.
Jeremiah 44 verse 4. Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate.
That I what? That I hate. So God is saying, don't do the things that he hates. Right? So according to the Bible, the Israelites, they don't eat unclean things. Right? You know what they eat? They can eat some salmon, right? They can eat a whole lot of clean things that come out of there, but it has that fins and scales. Now, according to your question, sister, what was your question again?
I got it. Why is it holidays on here? What happened to these people?
Alright, so what happened to those people on there? And why is your holidays on here? You said what, sister?
I know what happened to one person on here.
You can bring it up.
This George Floyd. Yeah, the police basically has black so he couldn't breathe.
Calm. So according to the Bible, the Lord isn't with the holidays of this world. See, the holidays of this world, like Christmas, go to Jeremiah chapter 10. Like Christmas, Halloween, right, New Year's, all of these different things, Thanksgiving. I'm sure that our people walked in that in time past, but they walked in ignorance. What does Christmas really mean? Besides just giving gifts.
It's God's birthday.
Not God's birthday. Right. See that? The Lord wasn't born in the middle of winter, where everything is dead. Right, born in the springtime with life. You understand? The beginning of the year. Right, so everything that we've learned in this world is nothing but a lie. We're going to show you something. Bring that up.
Jeremiah 10:2.
Right.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the ways of the other nations. See, the other, you know what the Chinese people do? They eat raccoons. Would you eat a raccoon? What about if he's nice and he come up and he don't bite you? You sure? What if he clawing at your window? You gonna let him in? Or what about, would you eat a snake? A crocodile?
A snake is like a fly.
Right, so these are unclean things. So if you're gonna eat anything, why are we keeping the same days? Right, Christmas, stemming from salmonella and all of these different things, were the times where the Romans and the Greeks, they would get drunk, right? And they would do abominable acts we're not gonna speak about.
Abominable acts.
Abominable acts. Wicked things. I got you, sister. Give me 1 second. They do wicked things in the cities. And they overthrow the people with drunkenness, mirth, and laughter. Right. And we can't deal with that being the children of the Most High. So according to the Bible, that's just one of many. But we're going to show you the heathen, initiative customs.
Right, reading on. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right, meaning they get overtaken with a shooting star. Right, look at the sun. Oh my gosh, look at the moon. Look at this. Look at the stars. Look at the constellations. They stargaze and they start to worship everything of this world. Read.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Now the Lord said, y'all listening? I'm not asking you a question, sister. The customs of the people, they're vain. Meaning they don't matter. Right, they're void. Let's see what the customs of people in America do.
Right.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Now, how do you get a Christmas tree? By chopping it down. So that's in the Bible. See, it's vain. They would chop down this tree. Read.
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
So what do they deck? They deck a tree with silver and gold. They take a tree, they put all type of silver and gold on it. Look at that. Now, would y'all trust a nasty, fat white man that's creeping down your chimney at night? Let's say on November.
No.
What if he comes in any other day? What if he come around March? With a different outfit on? It's the same man, right? But he just switch up his outfit and he come into March this time. Right? It's green. And he sneak down your chimney in the middle of the night while you sleep. But he just don't have his costume on. Is this costume going to change his intent? Surely if I would love you, wouldn't matter my raiment, what I have on. Surely if this brother loves me, shouldn't matter if his jacket is blue, green, or orange. Would you trust this man? Listen to what I'm saying. Coming down your chimney in March with a suit on. Right. It's the same man. He creeps down, starts tiptoeing around your house with a suit on. Fat white man. Would you trust that? Why wouldn't you trust it? Because it's not in the symbol. Why wouldn't you trust it?
Wait, it depends what kind of hand
You got the nasty. Yeah, he got nasty hair like him. You would trust him? Well, you can't trust him.
I wouldn't.
Good, sis, you can't trust him.
Because you don't know about him and I do.
You don't know anything. Now, Santa Claus isn't real, but just for the sake of, breaking down a comparison, we can't trust these holidays that the world has. They make no sense at all. They're rooted in evil and sorcery and paganism, one. And two, you have your own high holy days that you have to keep. Now, when y'all leave, I want y'all to remember one day that the Lord said we ought to keep. Give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. I'm going to show you this. I'm not going to overwhelm y'all, but according to the Bible, what did God call you, sisters? What is your nationality? What's your race?
What?
Israelites.
Right.
Israelites. Israelites. That's who y'all are. Y'all sisters are the Israelites. Right, read that.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Bring it on! Remember the Sabbath day.
Now today is the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day is where God's chosen people, they rest from their labors. There's no cooking, cleaning, excessive things that you would do in this world. It's a day to relax, it's a day to rest, and it's a day to read the Bible, right? So a lot of people, they feel like the Sabbath day is Sunday or whatever other day that, you know, they say it is, but nevertheless, it's the 7th day. So you have a working day all the way of 6 days you can work, but the 7th day you have to rest. So what is the Sabbath day? A day of what?
The Lord.
Day of the Lord, but it's also a day of rest. So according to the Sabbath day, you can't be all out, you know, having fun, you know, you're sweating, you're doing labors, you're buying, you're selling, and you're polluting God's high holy day.
Right.
So the Sabbath day is a day of what?
Rest.
Rest, exactly. The Sabbath day is a day of what? Not working. What do you say, sister?
You need to be about
The Sabbath day is a day when you cannot work. What do you have to do on the Sabbath day?
You're not gonna be lame.
You cannot do on the Sabbath day. You can't do what on the Sabbath day?
Sweat.
You can't work.
Why not?
Because that's what God said. God said on the Sabbath day you can't work. You can't buy either. The little money y'all may have, you can't take that. Y'all sisters listen? Y'all sisters listen? You cannot take money and buy and sell on the Sabbath day. So before y'all leave, what did God say you cannot eat that come out of there? The waters. Good, sis. Right. Alright, she got one right. Y'all all gotta get one right. What did God say you are according to the Bible? It's for you.
Light.
Israelite.
Israelite. Right, sister. Israelite. And the hardest question is for you, sister. The hardest one. Alright? So why don't we keep holidays of this world?
I need a different question.
What is Trinity?
Well, the next mighty speaker is going to go into an in-depth breakdown. But before I leave, before you leave, sister. Yeah, step on it again.
Stomp it out, boys! Stomp him out! In the face. That's right. Yes. That's right.
Why don't we keep holidays of this world, sister? Let me give you one more. According to the Bible, what does God look like? That's the last question. What does Jesus Christ look like?
Gray hair, like us, black. Right. He got gray hair.
White.
Well, white hair.
White like wool. What about his skin complexion?
He's good brown.
Brown. All right, y'all. Who, according to the Bible again?
Israelites.
Israelites. Right. Give me Isaiah. I'll take the 42 and verse 13.
Isaiah chapter 42 and verse number 13.
Bring it out.
The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall start jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, war. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holding my peace.
What the Lord say?
I have long time holding my peace.
What y'all shall say?
I have long time holding my peace. I've been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once.
Whom you shall?
Whom you shall?